Everybody, John Link. So let's talk about numbers today and millions, billions, and trillions. Some people, I think we just have a tendency to not really internalize the differences between all those zeros. So a million is a thousand, a billion is a thousand million, and a trillion is a thousand billion. So in order to maybe try to help get our hands around that, let's talk about this in terms of miles and do a little example calculation here. So it is 477,710 miles round trip from the Earth to the sun to the moon. Okay, so if you had a million miles instead of a dollars, let's talk about miles. A million miles. A million miles divided by 477, 710. You can go back and forth from the Earth to the moon two times, a little over two times. There's a lot of places behind that decimal point, but the one before it is a 2.09 times. Go back and forth to the moon. So with a billion being a thousand million, if you had a billion miles divided by 477,710, you could go back and forth to the moon 2,000 times. With a million miles, you could do two times. With a billion miles, you could do 2,093 times. So, how much is it going to be then if you have a trillion miles? That's 12 zeros. Okay, that's a trillion divided by 477,710. 2,093,000 times. You see, when you start adding thousands on to each previous calculation, it adds up in thousands. So you go from two, period, to 2,000 to 2 million. Now, when somebody says they're just going to add one trillion to the deficit, or a program is going to cost a trillion, you're like, okay, one, that can't be too many, too much money. Well, it is. It's a whole lot of money, and it's a lot of anything. I just don't think we can get it in our head too well without some kind of an example like this. Now, I'm going to show the U.S. debt clock. This is this number on the left here, 35, starts with a 35. That's $35 trillion that the United States is in debt. 35 trillion, 695, 086. 35 trillion. So that's an enormous number. I don't think we get our heads wrapped around it enough to know exactly where we are. Now, on this calculator, I've shown this calculator page before. It'll make you crazy. It'll tick you off if you look at where we spend the money. You can go to usdebtclock.org and just take a look at it. Also, you can look at the state debt clocks as well and look at your state and pull it up and see what kind of condition the state is in. But I wanted to just use an example that wasn't dollars to help us understand that going from a million to a billion to a trillion. The next is a quadrillion. Can you imagine? I'm not even going to do that calculation. Anyway, think about it and check with me if I can help. Thanks.